Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly podcast all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
Getsu fanboy Matt Strange, and this is...
Side of shopping, Muir.
Did 3 hours of shopping today. 3 hours. He's been messaging me throughout it. He went out with a Whammons, a shopping Whammons. They're not all shoppers, I'm aware, but his missus is, by the look of it.
Well, you know, you have to make some sacrifices to have a podcast during the middle of the day. How are you,
You've
boys?
got to earn those boyfriend points back. Yeah, I'm all right. I've prepared my roast dinner in advance today, so I don't have to rush off and begin cooking for 4 hours. So I'm feeling pretty positive, lads. How you doing, Morg?
I'm all right. I had to work yesterday, which means that today I'm a bit on zombie, and I was up very early this morning compiling something for you guys later.
Woo!
So this may be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such, you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we rate and rank the matches in Dynamite, how we overall rank BTE and Dark. Now, that tier list is going to be explained to you by Mr. Strange. Over to you, sir.
Slapping some funk on it again this week. I'm prepared. It's not a lazy week this week. Today I will be explaining our tier list, which comes from the Japanese school system and Japanese games, an ascending letter rank, via the means of Fallout games, would you believe? A particularly close thing to my heart, and Muir was taunting me with it earlier. That's why it's up. So we start with our lowest rank match. We don't go below a D. D is a match you can't be bothered watching. You know, it's not really there. It's soulless. It hasn't got that activity, hasn't got that story. Maybe the wrestling's awful, just like Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. If anybody tells you they're their favourite Fallout games, just unfriend them. Never speak to them again. They don't know what Fallout is.
They're not to be trusted.
They are not to be trusted. So, C rank. C rank match is what we should expect. This is our primary rank. This is what is a good match. You've got enough story in it. The wrestling's solid enough. Sure, it might not have your 100% attention, but you are happy with that match. C rank match, average. Like Fallout 3, the first turn to 3D. A lot of good stories, a lot of good action, but a few things that weren't quite there. Some stuff you don't care about, but good enough. A decent run-through game, a decent run-through match, C rank. Then we rock up into B. B is that mad thing which takes it that next level. Maybe you've got just better wrestling. Maybe the story's good going in and out. You care. You don't really look away. It's got your heart. It's ready to watch that again. And let's be honest, it's Fallout New Vegas. A game some people who like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 don't rate because they're wrong. But with those of us who actually appreciate a good computer game, it's just got enough character, enough action to just be a solid, wicked game. A solid, wicked match is a B rank. Then we roll into an A rank match. A rank match is the match of the night. You're probably not going to get better than an A rank on a weekly basis. It's got heart. It's got story. It's got great wrestling. You give a fuck in, throughout, and at the end. You don't text about it till the end. Just like the original Fallout 1. One which set us on this path. Strong story, great gameplay for the time. We all care. It's an A-rank game. It's an A-rank match. And then you've got the S-rank match. The S-rank match only comes around once in a while. The S-rank match is that thing which stays with you in legend. The story is great. The wrestling is phenomenal. You'll talk about it with your mates. You'll show clips of it to people when they come around your house and go, watch this fucking wrestling. And let's be honest, the absolute best Fallout game is Fallout 2. It features everything you want, the glorious enclave, it's got great story, it's got great characters, it's got great combat, and it's got Frank Horrigan. S-rank match. I fucking love Frank Horrigan.
Yep.
And that's, literally the best. One of those matches where you fucking send people. Like I had Zach round the other week, and I made him watch the Black Lotus Triad versus Pentagon, would you believe? A match I am still talking about years later. That's an S-rank match. And that's our scale. D, shit. C, good. B, great. A, amazing. S, sugoi, superior, and splendid. That's my tier list for today.
Excellent. I'm guessing that you just didn't bother rating Tactics or Shelter because they don't deserve to be on a list.
Tactics is actually a great game, but the story is bollocks. I love playing Fallout Tactics, but it doesn't fit in Fallout.
Yeah. I've never played Tactics, I have to admit, so I don't have any real knowledge of it. I've just always
It's just Necromunda.
Yeah, it is
right.
Necromunda,
Fair enough.
Which I also like. Hi, welcome to my Fallout podcast, where I will talk about Fallout and why, if you think Fallout 4 or 76 are the best games, you're subhuman scum.
At 76, yes. Fallout 4 is pretty, at least.
I don't care about
That's
pretty.
that's the only defense I can give it, but it's at least it's pretty.
Then again, I'm going to get this out because I'm going to be thinking
76 is fairly pretty, to be honest. So it's
If you want to play a shit first-person shooter where they've just hacked out all of the role-playing and skill system from years and replaced it with a building simulator, just play Rust. You know what? It'll be good. You'll like it. You and your friends can have fun, and you're not fucking up a franchise I've been playing for fucking 20 years.
You can play a cannibal tribe in the woods and go hunt other people.
Normie fucking cunt scum. I'm glad they're going to ruin Elder Scrolls, whatever. I'm glad Skyrim's going to be bad, so you fucking assholes can feel my pain. I hope they do.
Wrestling.
Remember wrestling? They do to Skyrim what they did to Game of Thrones end of series.
Don't you be careful.
We are, boys.
Yeah,
this
is getting dangerous. So, moving swiftly on again. Before Elder Scrolls fanboy over here and Fallout fanboy over there come to long distance.
There was a mistake.
So, news and Mr. Strange. I believe we couldn't find any news, but Mr. Strange has found something interesting.
I have Ben Carter, who had that great match with Scorpio Sky and with someone else who I've forgotten, who we really hoped for.
Lee Johnson.
Lee Johnson has been signed for AEW. Been signed for WWE NXT UK WWE. So I hope you look forward to seeing Carter Benjamin on your television soon and watching his career get squashed as flat as Ricochet.
So, look forward to not seeing him at all.
He signed that Mark contract, boys. What a shame.
Imagine being on NXT UK.
Well, I hope the best for him. I really do, because I think he's a fantastic wrestler.
If AEW weren't offering him a contract.
Yeah.
But he got to win.
Yeah. The only reason that he's been signed by NXT is because he was, possibly going to be signed by...
Vince has remembered that he has to steal talent from every other company, which is why he's had Warhorse and Pineapple Pete on fucking dungeon fights with Shane. And Carter Benjamin, he will now be known, because I have no doubt that will be his name, will enjoy his very brief NXT UK title run before disappearing and going back to, fight for a Rev Pro or something.
You never know. He may be eaten by Bork. You may get lucky.
To Bork.
Moving on from the news, of which there wasn't very much. This is our section where we pick a piece of social media of the week, or should I say, Mr. Strange picks a piece of social media of the week that he thinks that we should possibly have a look at or watch, or a particular wrestler he thinks you should go and follow their Twitter. So, Mr. Strange, what have you got for us this week?
We actually got a couple of dope promos this week that should have be redone on actual shows, I hope. Penelope Ford on Twitter. That's at the Penelope Ford, all one word. I keep wanting to say Penelope. Did a promo basically calling out Big Swole and going, yeah, come on, pussy, or something like that. It's well worth a watch. We've all been beaten. Stop crying, I'll fight you. So that could be cool. We might get a Swole Penelope rivalry. And post cameras going off on Dynamite, Eddie Kingston just went off in that ring for like another 5 minutes, just fucking ripping on Moxley, calling him a sports entertainer, just fucking shitting on and giving some stamps. And that's on there as well. Eddie Kingston's Twitter is at MadKing1981. And it's just fucking Eddie being Eddie. And I think we're all aware I'm a massive fanboy of him. So
goddamn Mark.
Just both of those. If you can't find them on their Twitter page, just put their names into Google with promo, I suppose, and it will show up. They're both pretty cool. I'm excited for more Penelope. Hopefully she gets some people she can work with a little better. And Eddie is always gold, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's my social media recommendations of the week.
Excellent. You have just managed to mention Eddie Kingston's name, and not one of us has actually asked where Blade's wife is. I'd just like to point that out.
I kind of got that out of my system last night, screaming at Ghost, "Where's your wife?" So, you know.
So now it's that time of the week where we review the shows of AEW, and we start, as always, with BTE, or Being the Elite. What did you guys think of the show this week, and what score did you give it?
This is a Nick speciality, but I do actually have no. Well, I've got notes.
I've got a page of notes. I'm fine.
Lead the way, Nick.
The Hangman Bucks bit at the start was quite interesting. I enjoyed that. I'm not a huge fan of the cult bit anymore. I'm thinking it's just a little bit awkward. I don't know.
I know. I kind of enjoyed it a bit more now. He's actually in Nakazawa's body, and you know, all the build up to the blowjob joke and the sort of cut off at the last minute gave me a giggle.
I don't know, it was just like, now suck my dick. Yeah. Then we had
the super kick run joke was good with the Bucks and Martinez. I don't know if anybody else is getting tired of the run meme, but I kind of love it.
No, it's fine.
I like the run meme. Then my notes just have Ortiz is going to get bleep word because he'd been
the big man was trying to get some meat.
John Silver had captured and tied up Ortiz, which is going to some dark places now by the looks of it. So here we are.
I mean this in like the most accepting sort of way. I've got relatives and closer. Is John Silver becoming too aggressively gay in those cutscenes?
He's turning like the baddie in Robo Hashi. That's what he's starting to give me the feelings of.
Sorry, Morg, that's a niche anime reference from when Nick had to live with me, so we had to watch all the crazy bollocks anime I watch. It features a man very aggressively trying to date another man, shall we say?
Very aggressively. Then I enjoyed the Gator Golf. Like the first segment with the Bucks was a bit boring, but then once it became into everybody else doing it as well, I kind of had a good laugh at it.
Yeah, no, I'm down with the golf. It's kind of wholesome.
And
I like that because we said about the BTE Championship. I'm quite happy with that being what it is. Something silly that something silly that they do on BTE.
No,
completely
for it.
And lovely.
The bit for the night for me, which could almost have been on the main show, is Hangman and Brandon's story of them just hanging out, throwing pumpkins out the back of a car.
And the payoff.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. What do you guys think of this?
I love their bromance. Probably could have been on the show, and they probably should have pointed out the fact that Hangman said the Bucks wouldn't go to the ring for Brandon, because that's been brought up a couple of times, and we see that later. So maybe some of this could be on other media to actually build up the stories.
I would have had Hangman come out to support Brandon, though. That's how I would have had it.
Well, yes, that would have been interesting. So the things I'm starting now, because we had a rule at the beginning where we said, stuff that on BTE should be on the show, but I'm starting, because we watch it every week and review it as part of the show, I'm thinking that BTE is where all the promo and story bits for Dark are.
It's true, but you can't expect people to watch 3 different shows and 4.5 hours of wrestling just to get the basic
watch Dark,
storyline.
just watch BTE and Dynamite.
I fully agree.
Some of the Hangman Book stuff should be promoting for the actual main show as well.
100%.
This is why I don't read Marvel comics. This is literally why I gave up on comics, because I went, I wonder if I should get back into reading comics. And people are like, you have to read this and this sub-series and this small sub-series and this little special, which ties into that. And I just went, no. You know what? No, fuck it. I've got no time for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not quite that bad, don't get me wrong. I don't need to read 72... we
don't have time for it because we've got 2 hours of Dark to watch.
Fuck, I just flicked my pen under my PC.
Go on, sorry, Nick. Go on, Nick.
Then we moved on to my favourite line of the night, which was Chucky T when he was playing the Gator Golf. He says, I'm going to lose this and embarrass my family, which just made me fucking pissed.
I love Chuck so much.
Then we had the Lever Bates and Kaz bit, which I thought was worth it just for the do you gag, but I don't know.
Meta joke made me lol.
Yeah.
It really did. It's Christopher Daniels missing do you and him not doing it. Just brilliant. Loved
yes.
It.
Oh,
yes.
You're going to do the do you bit? Oh.
Nice to see the shout out to Eddie.
All in all, this was a good Dark.
BTE, yeah, it was great.
good.
Sorry, BT. As we're going through it, I'm having solid memories as we wander through it, and I'm chuckling to myself.
I don't think I don't think there was a particularly bad bit on this BTE, and storyline wise, so it was left with a big cliffhanger plot as to who has Hangman's phone. My money's on Kenny.
Yeah, seems likely.
What, you think he's just trying to break them up?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
Getting his revenge. We did have Matt Hardy explaining the watching the TV screens bit from later.
That was funny as well. I liked that.
That was really good. That's just the next part of my notes. Is I loved the stance, how to stand.
Take back over, Nick.
Okay, then we had Uno and Stu going through the room. Well, Uno coming into the room and Stu just being battered on the table.
Anna Jay being in the corner was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just the continuation of their storyline that Anna's somehow a psychopath and like 10,000 times stronger than all of them, which I do enjoy. Then we got a close-up of Hangman's phone that had been abandoned inside a pumpkin.
That
had a babe dressed up with just a horse's head on, which made me fucking laugh.
Horse helms, mate.
See, now I must have looked away because I missed that bit, and Raptor had to explain the ending to.
Yeah. And
somebody stole the phone.
And
John Silver doesn't poop.
No, he doesn't. Apparently
John Silver
so.
does not poop. And 10 likes cocaine and guns.
I liked. Gary, carry on, Nick, because you haven't got to that bit yet.
I just love that his first thing to go to was cocaine and guns. What a man!
Hey, I've never done coke, but if somebody went to me and went, "Do you want to do a weekend of cocaine and guns?" I would listen to that conversation and ponder it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and then so we find out that Silver's the only safe member of the Dark Order because he turned up to actually help Brody. So
yeah,
that's quite interesting.
And he doesn't poop.
He doesn't poop.
I liked that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice turnaround. An earning.
What, bad guy succeeding and going up in stature? I don't believe it's.
There were no baby faces around. It was fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Silver is a baby face.
That is true. This is true, actually.
He's so over.
And then we had the bit at the end with the phone, with the Bucks. So what were you thinking about this, Morg? You were saying?
It was actually the John Silver bit I wanted to comment on.
Okay, go on then.
It was just the fact that I really liked John Silver, the payoff of that, where Brody kicks everyone out and then he's like, Silver, you can stay. The guy who he's been riding, I thought was really cool.
Well, yeah, it shows that he's actually, he actually sees that people have potential and, Silver's actually done him some good. It's almost like he's a babyface, building up a team. They've got it the fucking wrong way round, all right?
And we end with obviously the messages from probably Kenny, possibly someone else, should have been on the show explaining why Hangman and the Bucks just can't speak to each other. Even a fucking collection of these clips going, Hangman has tried to make amends.
The one problem was the fact that because on BTE they don't monetize at all. And so they could have the fuck you line on it, which they wouldn't have been able to do on Dynamite.
Well, they could just change the wording of it.
They get three swears on Dynamite. Yeah. They get 3 swears.
I don't think you're allowed fuck.
Oh, God.
For fuck's sake.
I think shit is probably about the highest you can go.
Wow.
They won't even let Chucky say shit. What a letdown. What a shame.
He hasn't even pinned Kenny in the middle of the ring and said it yet. I'm so disappointed. Right, shall we move?
Overall, BTE.
BTE, watch it.
Watch it.
That's like a B to A rank.
I
think it was really good.
I think it's an A rank.
I think
I think it was really good.
Okay.
I think it's a B if you don't watch every single show, and an A if you do watch every single show.
Yeah. If you have all the background knowledge, I think it's an A.
So, suppose that rolls into me, doesn't it?
It does.
Morg, introduce us.
So now it's time for us to move over to our week of Dark. I just want to say one thing. My notes say Dark, a gargantuan episode. Sad face emoji.
I have
the one with the tear, in fact.
Mine just has fuck written across it, like half the page in big scrawn writing.
My opening two notes are "fuck my life" and a tally of unpredictable matches, which is matches I didn't know the winner of before it started. There are
Cool.
2 tags on that.
Ooh, 2. You treat yourself.
And we open with one of those matches.
Yeah.
I did not know who was going to win. Uno versus Blade versus Kaz versus Jungle Boy. Heels ate a lot of shit in this match because, heels can't achieve anything.
Yeah. Well,
They did pick up for a bit. Uno's at least hilarious. It was all right. It was just not as smooth as it could have been. There was a lot of climbing up to the top for nothing. It was okay. And then Marco showed up at the end, and I hated my life because I'm fucking sick of him now. Anybody else got anything for the first match?
It was all
just
right.
shows that say Morg. It just shows that Jungle Boy is getting a little bit of a push and will probably beat Wardlow.
Right, audience, if this is your first time listening to us, I'd like to point out that when Morg says it was all right, what he basically means is it wasn't good enough for me to say anything good about, but I don't want to insult it.
That's why it always makes me laugh whenever he says it, because it
Pretty
makes me piss. It's great. Jobbers versus Lucha Bros.
Johnson and Benoni. Benoni still looks fucking wicked.
Yeah.
He's
solid
a
start.
beast.
Mate, isn't he? He's massive. He's going to go far. Some great hossing in this. Johnson has a few weak strikes he could work on, but otherwise I had a good time. This was a fine match. It's a good C, rank through, bit of fun. Nothing too amazing. Lucha Bros in it.
I do love how the Lucha Bros always put over their opponents. They always make them look great.
I was just about to say, yeah, it's another lesson in how to make your opponents look good.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. Really good. But yeah, it was all right. Bravalon. Oh, God. Play that same song again.
God, I love this song.
Brandon versus Avalon. Hangman should have come out with Brandon.
Yeah.
My first comment is, I know you can't technically write notes to yourself in sarcasm, but if you assume that everything I do is sarcastically, my opening note is, God, I hope they draw again.
I don't know why this wasn't the main event and them to just round off this feud.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time with Avalon. He's great on the mic and he makes me laugh. Like when he was like, count him out, Rick, and stuff like that. It's just brilliant. It was all right.
Is Cutler our only likable face? In that he's actually a baby face. He doesn't win all the time.
And he's trying his best to be good.
And he's actually a baby face. And a lot of that credit needs to go to Avalon for being such a great heel. But after our discussion the other week, is Brandon our only likable baby face?
I think he's the only full-on baby face that we've got, apart from maybe Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy's probably the only other real face.
Jungle Boy hasn't done enough to win us over.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, this match, Brandon, only likable face, and a lot of that's due to Avalon. It was all right, lackluster finish. I don't need to see them draw again and again and again. We had a build-up to a draw match, and that was really cool. Then they became a tag team. Then we had a build-up to a draw match, and that was cool. Why are we still doing it?
It should have been draw on Dark, move it to Dynamite, draw on Dynamite, winner at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, so fine. Sunny promo, fine. I don't really have a lot to say on this.
The other thing, sorry, I did have one other comment about that. I've just realised in my notes, it says Cutler might be the one likeable babyface, or possibly Lever.
She is trying her best to keep them together. You are right.
Needs more speechy time.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of her crying and looking sad, and heard a lot of Avalon. I need to see more Lever, realistically.
Yeah. So moving on.
Promo, fine. Sunny doing Sunny things. Rolling straight into Seidel versus Sunny. They were not that smooth together, if I'm going to be completely honest.
No, they weren't.
And is Seidel like a heel Buddhist? I'm not sure those two things go together if you're not part of the Yellow Turban Rebellion. If I'm,
Hard cut back here.
And who would win in a head pointing competition between Seidel and Luther, do you reckon? Who could point at their head more?
Luther. He's got the age experience. He's got 30 years in the biz of point at his head.
Otherwise, this was all right. Bit clumsy. I didn't really care. No shooting star press again, which is intriguing to me. He hasn't done one since that botch, and he's been doing mission finishers.
Yeah.
Unless anybody's got anything to add to that, It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was all right. Mabadu, Solo, and Fashion versus 17. Fucking blessed Beaver boys putting over Mabadu. Mate, everybody makes Mabadu look fucking amazing.
They all do great, don't they? 17 were good fun. I enjoyed them.
Reynolds is fucking buffing up if you look at him as well. He's
Yeah.
getting some... they know Silver's over. I'm freaking jacked, baby! And as calling him Big Boys John and Big Johnny and stuff like that. I actually had a really fun match. I think this was the best match thus far. I don't know if it's necessarily worth going out your way to watch, but it's all those boys having a laugh. And
I
that
love
was
the
kind of cool.
drinking bird finisher. The drinking bird made me fucking pissed.
Yes.
Where the two people hold him up and then spin him around like a bird. And
Yeah, it's
just
great.
as selling it was brilliant.
So yeah, that was a good fun match.
Yeah.
I think I needed that in this show, if I'm honest.
It did help the show go.
Then, unless anybody's got anything to add to the Mabadu
Nope.
17 thing, I'll roll on. Oh yeah, we had the Brandy promo. She's getting ready to suck the popularity out of Velvet, I see.
She needs it to sustain herself.
Ali's disappeared. Time to drain on another superior wrestler. Sorry. I'm just a bit sick of Brandy fucking munching through female talent, and I really like Velvet.
Yeah.
I think I've gone on about Velvet every time she's been on the show about how much
She's great.
she's fucking wicked, and she got to fight a goth.
Yeah.
Somebody Black versus Red Velvet. A
God.
little bit of something for Morg.
Elena Black.
Elena Black.
Elena Black looks like a danger girlfriend from your teens, is my first quote. And then it's, fuck's sake, Brandy, please don't ruin Velvet.
So Morg, I'm going to let you assess the goth for us. As a non-gothic person, I can't tell if they passed the goth stage.
Yeah.
She came out with a coffin. I didn't like the opening the coffin. That was a bit weird. And then she was actually quite good in the ring. The match was good. She sells like hell, and she sells injuries after she's had them
Which is
for
really
a
good.
long time.
Yeah.
Which
No,
I'm
she-
very
Penta
good.
can't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She,
no, this... Sorry, Morg, go on. Finish your
Yeah.
sentence.
she sells injuries after she's done them, and yeah, I quite enjoyed this match. I always like Red Velvet. I think that sticking her with Brandy isn't necessarily a bad idea, because it is a bit of a rub, because Brandy is quite a big name in the company, so it's a way to shoot her up.
I'm going to 100% disagree with you, because on the internet, people know that if they get associated with Brandy, they just die. They just become a step for Brandy, and I think Velvet is better than that.
Yeah.
And this match was really solid. Too short, but really solid. I'm excited for Black. I'm always excited for Velvet. I would rather see Velvet get a singles push than for some reason be attached to Brandy and the Nightmare People. If she joins the Nightmare People, I'm going to scream for 3 minutes solidly in the next podcast.
The Nightmare People literally kill everything they touch. So,
Elena Black to form a women's tag team with Abaddon.
I don't think Abaddon needs that, mate. I think Abaddon's better as this fucking monster that comes out.
I know, but I'm predicting.
Yeah, I get you. No.
By the way, can we just compliment the fact that apparently Velvet's finisher is just a fucking kick to the head called Just Desserts?
I mean,
She's
great.
a cake.
And
just
it is desserts.
I mean, that's better than the Judas effect. But I'm going to elbow you in the face, or I'm going to spinning back fist you. Is not up there with I'm just going to kick you in the head.
Yeah, no.
I've got to say, you know how much I hate the Judas effect.
Yep.
But her kick to the face looks really fucking vicious.
Yes.
She has to run off the ropes. At least it's got a bit of flair. It might not be the most exciting move, but she has to punch them in the stomach so they curl over in traditional wrestling way and then bounce off the ropes. Wicked, cool. Just make it feel like a finisher, and that does. So yeah, good match. I don't know if it's worth going out the way to watch, but I have high hopes for both these women as long as Brandy doesn't suck the life out of Velvet.
She needs the life force, mate. But
I'm going to roll on because we always stop on the women's for too long. Fuego del Sol versus Starks. Fine squash.
I
I've
just
had a
put
great
squash.
time. Nothing to add unless any of you two do.
That spear of Starks was
It's great.
Hey, he's great at it. He's almost as good at Trent as the spear.
I think Starks is slightly better. It really looks good.
I mean, it does look good.
And
but
I
think-
really like, again, back to that comment, I really like Trent's spear. I've always thought he's got like a really good spear.
Unfortunately, Trent has like zero actual care about talking on the mic or doing the rest of the wrestler
Action
thing.
or
Yeah.
emotions.
Just doesn't give a fuck. Right, I'll roll on because that was just a squash. SCU promo. I'm really happy Twatty Sean is back. And I can take a Shaw versus Christopher Daniels, but I love his wankery twat face.
Yeah, he's got a great heel face. He just does.
It reminds me of me when I enter a conversation and I know I'm going to upset it. You know.
I'm going to have fun here. No one else is, though.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Right.
I Ryzen and Stardom versus the Guns. I love the Guns giving Stark shit. Brilliant. I love Billy dancing.
They're great, aren't they?
Taz like a sad dad as Rick is getting stalted. Stardom's a weird like dwarven warrior, isn't he?
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, he could be in our dwarven kingdom. We don't mean this in like an insulting way to people who are shorter than the average norm. We mean like D&D dwarves. We developed a stable in the past. It was Ark as the king, Silver, Lindemann, who we haven't seen for a while, and I'm putting Stardom into our dwarven kingdom because he does look like a dwarven warrior.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, solid, fun match. Ending could have been cooler or cleaner. He just sort of got in and did his finisher, and I like the quick draw, but, you know, build it up a little bit. It was all right. A laugh. Broke the pace of...
It's solid.
Unless anybody's got anything to add to that, it's... No. Morg?
No, not really. No. I think you've summed it up.
No. Okay, this is the most exciting one I've got. Cormotto versus Allen. I would go out the way to watch this match. I think this would be the one example. Yeah. Cormotto being... Well, my first note is his gimmick Charles Manson? Is that what he is?
I just put Bruiser Brody versus Darby because that's what he looked like to me.
I even called him Mega Pack.
Mega Pack!
Werewolf versus zombies.
Beast.
Oh,
yes, mate. Power up. Burp, burp, burp. He's in fucking Glaybro. Werewolf joke for the nerds out there.
Yes.
He did some solid hossing, and in all honesty, that's the kind of match Darby does best in. If you can give him somebody who can throw him about safely and bounce him off things, and he can bounce off, Darby looks his best against that kind of person, and he makes that kind of person look great, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think this is easily the match of the night.
Yeah, this is the one to watch. I had a really good time. I did notice, I think Ricky called Excalibur Chris halfway through the match, though, and that's actually in my notes, so now I know Excalibur's real name. But yeah, good match. Watch this. It's the dancy little goth man versus ultimate Charles Manson, apparently. Wicked, more of this. I'd even take him being put in a stable. You give Darby Allin his own Mega Maniac to bring out like Matanza. That would fucking work as well.
Brilliant. Yeah,
they could have the slow motion Guinness adverts in black and white with Darby being artistic and just him running about in the background. You know, not in focus. Just like
you could almost have like a freak show sort of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen feel.
Oh, that could be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, time to book a new stable at some point soon. So I haven't ranked this match. I have decided it comes under the best friends rule because I really enjoyed this match. But it comes under the best friends rule because Darby Allin is one of the ones I'm slightly biased towards. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it was great.
And yeah, big guy versus Allen is the way to go. He sells. How he should be booked. Yeah, he sells. He's a proper baby face in that respect. Yeah, move on.
Kylan King promo. Kylan is another woman's I've been gushing over, and I want her to get a push in the past. So I was happy to see her have a promo. It was solid enough.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh no, I've turned my pages wrong.
It was okay for a first muster.
Matches and it was okay for a first muster. Then we rolled into Colt Cabana versus Griff Garrison. I'm glad Griff's getting his push. I don't have a lot of notes on this. Solid match. The Billy Goat's curse looks fucking cool. I just enjoyed it. Solid wrestling match. Just a bit of fun. Like both wrestlers. Unless either of you two have got anything to add.
As soon as I saw who was in it, I was like, this is just going to be good.
Mate, Griff is going to be dimes in the future. We already know Colt is, but Griff is on the up. I do think I like him more than Jungle Boy.
Yeah, I think he is better Jungle Boy, but Jungle Boy needs a personality. Just Jungle Boy at the moment, which doesn't really get him over me.
Right. I think this is where we're going to have our disagreements. This is Kylan King versus Nyla Rose. I wrote it's okay, and you got a promo for that. F.
Yeah, that was my feeling. It was like, why have a promo if you're just going to do that?
Well, you're going to have to pull this back.
Oh, no, I don't disagree with you there. The only bit I disagree is I didn't think it was a pure squash because I thought Kylan got some good offense in and looked strong for a while. And it just seemed to be that Nyla had to pull the beast bomb out to finish it. It was too short. It should have been more back and forth. There should have been more of Kylan withstanding some of Nyla's offense, not just I get beaten up and then pull the beast bomb out. My only disagreement was earlier on is I didn't think it was a squash as such.
Okay.
I didn't think it was a true squash.
I'm going to disagree just because I honestly just sort of watched Kylan bounce off her until she won. But, either way, this match isn't necessarily worth watching all the time. And we rolled into a Vicky promo. I don't remember what she said. All I wrote is kill me. I don't think that was good. But I am biased against Vicky because, as I've said before, her voice makes my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
If either of you two have anything to add.
She's too powerful of a heel. She's just too powerful. She shouldn't be. She's just too powerful. She just makes you hate her too much. I don't know.
It's Vicky's really good at that. She's absolutely lovely as a person as well.
Oh
apparently.
yeah, I can imagine. But
yeah, her voice and the way she knows how to be a heel.
Yes, she's too powerful.
Okay. We'll roll past as that sort of definitive to D3 versus Janela. I really kind of like D3 and his weight being in kilos because he's European as opposed to pounds. D3 got to do loads of cool shit rolling about. Joey had to go crazy. Bit of a weird end, but he did throw 3 big moves into him because he hates Latinos apparently. But no, I actually enjoyed this match, and I'm not always the biggest Janela fan.
No.
It was just kind of fun. I don't know if it was his opponent or just because they went, Joey, go and have one of your weird indie matches that you're, that's where you really excel at. Yeah, I thought this was good.
I finally figured out what D3's chest tattoo was during this match, which was helpful for me. He's got the Palatine Hill on his chest, which is one of the hills. But yeah,
More than what? You jumped a bit on there for me, mate.
I said the Palatine Hill, which is one of the 7 hills of Rome that Rome's built on. That's what he's got on his chest. It's the Senate.
For anybody who doesn't know, Muir is a Rome weeb. If I could
that's
describe
the easiest way to describe it. Yes, so he's
a weeb for Roman things.
Yeah, so that's what he's got on his chest. Because I was trying to work it out for a while, but yeah, it was very.
Regardless of his tattoo, I don't think it was. It was squashy, but it went on for long enough.
At least he got a bit of action. Yeah, and I like D3, so it's nice to see him.
Anything more?
Yeah, it was good. I like Janela being, like you say, indie Janela. More back to what we like. I really wanted that team with Sunny when it first happened, and there was still.
And now I don't.
And I was in. Yeah, and now I quite like them to both split off and do their own thing again.
Yeah, because they're just spinning their wheels as a team at the moment.
Yeah, but yeah, good match, worth a watch.
Yeah.
We roll into the Giga Chad versus Dean.
Fucking hell! The end to this, boys.
Solid squash with a knockout. They're obviously building. I'm not a squash man. I didn't hate the time though. I didn't feel like my time was wasted because it was so quick.
What? Because you just enjoy watching Wardlow, enjoying basking in the view of Wardlow as he's
too handsome and he's too hench. It's not
mate.
Okay. But yeah, no, that was a solid squash. I don't think there's much else to add to that, if I'm honest.
No.
And rolling from one squash into another, Eddie Kingston versus Black. I noticed at this point that there was 6 minutes left of the video when the entrances began. So,
yeah, I noticed that.
I'm not a squash fan, and I believe I set the squash limit during the beginning of our podcast at 7 minutes. Anything under 7 minutes was too much of a squash, I believe I said. But I do have to admit, I do like Kingston's squash method and fighting method. If he just walks out and beats people up.
He's just the
beats
thug.
him up.
I love it. He's just a thug.
It's not like he walks out, squashes him with power bombs and stuff. He just walked out, Peter punched him a bunch, then choked him out.
Yeah, it's great.
I kind of loved it, and I know I shouldn't because I hate squash matches, but I don't know. I think it's just the pub fighting method of Eddie Kingston. I've seen people fight like that.
It's just a different showing of it. It's not just, oh, look at my strong, big muscles. It's just, no, I'm just go out there and kick fuck out of that man, you know?
And the other thing, I think it was good story with him choking somebody out.
Made the choke look great.
To me, that one, yes, it was a squash, but it was one of those ones that lives in that nebulous area that we've said before, where we've had squash matches that are really, they're a promo more than a match.
Yeah. Exactly that.
And I think that's why that one was all right.
Felt like a squash.
Yeah,
Eddie's one felt like a moment.
Yeah, it felt like a promo almost.
But yeah, no, I think Dark overall was actually better than we thought it was. Like looking back, I think there's a lot of C to B matches in there. I think it's worth a skim through if you've got a spare 2 hours or you want it on in the background. If you want to watch a match,
something while watching it, you know, pop back to look at the screen every so often.
If you want to watch a match, watch Komoto versus Allen.
Yeah.
I just belched mid-sentence, to really up my attractiveness on this.
I can't see you, you're fine.
I'd say my three were Komoto versus Allen. I enjoyed the Lucha Brothers match. And the women's match, Elena Black versus Red Velvet.
Yeah.
And if you've got a spare 4 minutes, it's worth watching.
Yeah. We were spoilt with so much women's wrestling this week.
15 minutes this week, mate. Don't you complain. Or we'll have Tony Khan on the phone.
Yeah, solid Dark, good enough, not mind blowing.
Yeah.
So overall, C.
Yeah.
C. C with some highlights. There was a bit more fun in this one than we've had lately.
I think we'd have been more excited about this being 2 hours had Dark not been an hour and a half regularly. If it had been like 45-minute chunks like it used to be.
And then there was just a massive one. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, moving on to the main show of the week, and now is our review of Dynamite. And it opens with JR, Excalibur, and Schiavone on commentary, and then the first match, Best Friends versus FTR with Tully for the Tag Team Championship. FTR wins after hitting Chuck with the belt. What did you think of the match, and what score did you give?
Chucky got solid time. Chucky got a hot tag.
Yeah, he got to actually, be a character instead of just the guy that eats shit. That was strange.
I have missed having Chuck and Excalibur simultaneous because we had obviously the Excalibur break for He's Done the Deed, Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
The empty arcade machine made me laugh as it got smashed open and there was nothing inside. And I was like, okay.
The painted on buttons.
Mate, it was great.
Yeah,
leave it alone.
But I had a good time, in honesty. Like, I'm not the biggest FTR fan. I love their wrestling, not so much their, personas, but it was dirty as fuck with an obvious ending. I love the Best Friends. I had a solid time through it. It's probably a B for me, I'd guess. Forgot to rank it at the time. And then Miro ran out in Beast form, but we'll come to that.
Yeah, that's... So, Muir, what score did you give it?
I gave it a C because I was trying to be a bit more critical. I didn't think it was the best match ever. I love the trade of DDTs between Trent and one of the FTRs. They don't matter. They're the same character. Yeah, and I pissed myself when they broke the fucking arcade machine. There was just nothing in it. It was a cardboard box that made me laugh. So, yeah, it was a solid match, and I think it was a C. I think it's what you should expect from the tag team.
Well, the decider, Morg, you've got the final rank on this.
Yeah,
How did you think of it?
So I enjoyed it. It was good, but I thought it was just solid, and I also gave it a C.
Oh, look at me. I was ranking things up for the old FTR because I thought I was being critical. See, it is.
It was a good, solid match. It's what I expected. I didn't look at my phone or, we enjoyed it. Following up that, we have a Miro run in and attacks the Best Friends for breaking his video game. I'm quite looking forward to Best Friends versus the Best Man or the Best Men or whatever they're going to be called. The Best Friends versus the Best Friends. And, yeah. Anything to add to that from you guys?
No. I'm providing. I think I'm going to be critical in a couple of minutes, so that might affect my opinion on looking forward to this feud, shall we say?
Then following on that, we had Sean Maluta and Lee Johnson versus Kip and Miro with Penelope. Miro wins by submission in a matter of seconds. I gave it a D. I gave it D/squash.
I
So it
gave
was
it
a squash D.
I wrote F on my sheet. This was an anniversary show match. Gold Pants Man threw himself out the ring before the full hand action was done.
Yes, mate.
Throw him out the ring. Don't get me wrong, Miro looks like is beasting well, and I think we can definitively say he's a heel now, but he did, miss his finisher the first time.
I mean, if you miss your finisher, it's just a bit worrying, isn't it? Let's be honest.
This was a waste of my time, and I don't think anybody came out looking strong or cool from this.
No, they've had 2 segments with Miro actually, and both of them have rubbed some of the, shine off him. I think they made it worse.
Your microphone is playing up today.
Oh, sorry. I said that the shine on Miro is wearing off because the 2 matches they've had in it haven't made him look good at all. I don't know.
That's he's saying they've had a couple of matches, but the shine is wearing off because it's not gone too well.
Yes, if my mic's any better now.
Hopefully so. You just got a bit of jump on it, mate.
Okay.
After that, we had a Kip and Miro promo where they call out best friends. Any score for the promo?
Didn't rank it. All I wrote was Kip doesn't know how powerful Trent is. Nobody knows how powerful Trent is.
Yeah.
Following on from that, backstage segment with Lance Archer attacking Mox. I'm guessing you loved this.
I liked it. It shows both characters, especially as we get more of it later from the other side. I think this showed showed us who these guys are, and I love Lance throwing people about and doing NJP dub Lance things. So yeah, solid fun section. Not as good as him throwing a man into the ceiling and putting another man in the bin.
The best part was poor Jake Roberts just wanting Lance to help him get his top on. He just wanted a hand to get that top on, and Lance would not stop beating people up. That made me pissed.
He was probably trying to get his top on hurriedly before Lance wrote "Everybody Dies" on it.
It is true. Yeah. Did he have "Everybody Dies" written on it?
Who knows what is written across Jake today?
So, following on from that, we had an MJF and Jericho in-ring promo with the Inner Circle. What did you think of the promo, and did you give it a score? Which I did.
I did. This had sucking up to Jericho. The fucking jacket for Sammy wrecked me. Jericho know he's sucking up. Very specific. He said he's got to get his smile back.
Yeah,
fuck it. I loved it. I gave it an S rank. Everything here was immense. I had a great time.
And next week they're going to have the steak dinner.
Like a threat.
Yes, mate.
Just phenomenal. I loved it. It's Jericho and MJF at their best.
It was great.
What did you boys give it?
Well, you see, I downgraded it because it was a promo, so I only gave it an A. But I am tempted to move it up because
I think
we were in fucking hysterics in this.
Yes, mate,
we thought this was so good and it was so clever. I think it's an S. I'm going to change my I'm changing my vote. I agree with Strange. I think it was an S.
The acting from MJF trying to just get the words out, like not being an arrogant twat, made me fucking pissed.
It's a flashback to the joke of Jericho apologizing as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, just brilliant.
Yep.
Loved it.
Yes.
God, and then we rolled straight into another great promo section that I love.
So yeah, and then following on from that, we had a Britt Baker promo where it's the beauty salon with Tony Schiavone. What did you guys think of this? And again, what score did you give it?
Why are you naked?
I fucking loved it. I love the fact she's won him over because, like, previously we had her like holding Tony like emotionally hostage, and we didn't really see any good that they did to him. Whereas this time we actually got to see how she wins him over, and apparently they did just pin him down and force him to be chest waxed as well. That wasn't set up. Just all these like hot wrestling women just grabbed him and went, "We're waxing you, Tony."
It is really funny that if you watch his face, that every time they pull the wax off, and I have it on authority from the Raptors, that's not how you wax people. But he would scream, and then he'd have Britt, Rebby, and the other girl who was there rubbing his face and whatever, and he'd go from the scream to this big beaming smile.
Hey, wouldn't you?
I'm not criticizing Tony in any way or saying he was being horribly sexist because you know
what can you do in that situation?
They had built in a joke where he was consistently naked. She put a towel on his crotch in the second scene. I loved it. I gave this an A. This was best Brit. I loved it.
This is what I wanted from Brit again. This is exactly what I want from her. It is an A.
It is an A.
So moving on from that, Orange Cassidy versus
No sound recap. Missed the no sound recap.
The no sound recap.
Oh, the no sound recap. Well, now I didn't mention this because the Raptor at the time pointed this out. The no sound. What you've got to remember is that the picture-in-picture, we were not getting something. So normally in picture-in-picture, we get something specific for Fight TV. They've seemed to have stopped doing. The commentators keep.
It is that this is AEW, so they have to show off they have technical difficulties, so they just didn't put sound on this to show off they all have technical difficulties.
Every single show is riddled with technical bollocks, which for a man who owns Fulham and the Jaguars, you think they'd have got down by now. No. I'm going to bring up every time they have technical difficulties because they should know better. I'm sorry, guys.
But yes, this was no sound because this would have been just what was showing behind the adverts on normal American television. If we didn't get that, we'd have just had that AEW logo with the theme music that we normally get. And so I was happy to have this because I didn't have to skip through the AEW logo with the theme music that we get when they have an ad break that doesn't have picture-in-picture. And they have now started keeping the commentators talking through picture-in-picture so that the Fight TV people, those of us who watch on Fight, get something rather than everything going silent.
Hooray!
So yeah, moving on. Orange Cassidy versus Cody with Brandy and Arn for the TNT Championship. Orange Cass, and it goes to the time limit. Special shout out I want to give. The story with Darby watching really helped my score for this match.
Bring me the
story
one.
added.
All right, before I get into describing, I'm going to say that Darby watching didn't add anything for me. No. But, here we are. And also had a good time. We can see that Cody has put his face skin back on. He pressed A instead of X when being selected today. He's been back to being a goodie. I liked Orange Cassidy no-selling his intro. That sort of brought me a bit of a joy. And no-selling the Cody bounce around the ring grab. That was kind of fun. Solid. I had a good time. Yeah. The Dark Order pace break was actually fine. Normally I'll criticize when people run out and do stupid shit like the Hobbs and Cage running out for no reason. But I actually thought the Dark Order...
It was done quite well.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I enjoy the fact Cody is just doing heel shit after Orange Cassidy had been properly honourable and, defended him and stuff.
You can't be a face against Orange Cassidy. You just can't. He's just too babyface. You just can't.
Something me and the Raptor were talking about is that if you go back and watch, Cody does wrestle heel a lot. Yeah. Promos babyface.
Yeah. Well, we've said he's a heel since the start, but I think he showed it a lot more in this one, actually having someone to heel against.
Yeah.
Beach break on the apron was wicked. The two bouncing breach breaks were great. The last minute timing was fucking hype, and that pin timing was phenomenal.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful how they got that timing. Fair play.
I don't know. I gave it a high B/A. I didn't quite know where it sat because obviously I've got a bit of a thing against Cody currently and the Nightmare People. But I had a really good time in this match and it was really good. I'm going to have to let you guys be the decider on what the rank is though.
I think it was a really good match and I really enjoyed it. But I don't know. There's such a bad taste in this whole belt promo. This area, sorry. I think it is a high B.
Then we are in agreement. B/A was what I gave it. High B.
Oh, okay. A high B it is.
And the reason I put that bit about the Derby because I liked the storyline thing with it going to time because the only other match we've had go to time was the Derby one. And I liked the way he was sat. They didn't do the goth thing where he was sat up in the rafters watching weirdly.
I might have laughed more if he'd done that, if I'm honest.
I would have been happy.
But I think that would have been. But that would have been too silly. I liked the fact he actually appeared to be, and something me and the Raptor commented on was that he was actually watching. It looked like he was scouting.
Yeah, it looked like he was paying attention.
When they snapped to him, it didn't take me out of the match.
Yeah, fair.
So I thought that was a credit to
Lightning
their.
descend from the ceiling with a baseball bat. I'm just saying.
It's going to happen. So following on that, we have a backstage segment with Lance Archer, and this is where Mox gets his heat back.
I didn't rank it, but I have one note on. I think Lance actually punched that dude.
I think you're right.
Like that fist hit him in the face, and that guy went down. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no, that wasn't meant to happen.
Lance is like legit 6'8". If he punched me, I'd turn to sand. You know, somebody'd have to hoover me up to be buried. I was like, oof.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I haven't ranked it, but I laughed. And as I said, I'm enjoying their actual rucking. It makes me feel like they are the brawlers they are.
Yes, it does add a lot to their story.
Following that, we had a quick Matt Hardy promo. It was all right.
It was me, Matt.
Oh god, it was me all along.
God, it was short.
I'm
so bored of Matt Hardy talks like man.
Generic Matt Hardy is just the worst Matt Hardy.
He's the fucking worst Matt Hardy. Like I miss. I wasn't that into Damascus and the shouting yes and stuff.
And the gnashing of the teeth, but at least it was something. You know?
But I really enjoyed jumping through gimmicks, Matt Hardy.
Yes.
I thought that was funny as fuck. And now we've just got Matt Hardy comes out and talks and shows us that his crazy wife is with him. Cool.
Yeah. I'm so glad she's here.
Just keep her off Twitter.
Yes,
following on from that,
that's why she brings her.
Segment to choose teams for the 4 tag team. Oh god, right. So I'm going to fall over this about 3 times. I had trouble writing it. Yeah. Segment to choose teams for the 4 tag team match for the #1 contendership.
Yeah.
What did you think of the segment? Did you give it a rank?
I didn't give it a rank. I did write Dubsy Dub, and that tombola hit him. When Matt picked up that tombola and threw it, it fucking bounced off him, and I was like, "Cool."
My main question is, if we have this sports feel and how it's meant to be like, you know, the second contenders that go now, we shouldn't have to have a tombola come out to choose who goes next against FTR.
My only problem is it's too obvious. Like,
yeah.
Butcher and the Blade and Silver and Reynolds aren't winning, and the owner, and so obviously, like the big show will be Bucks versus Private Party because that's how we open the series.
Yep.
And if it isn't the Bucks, if they do a paradigm break to confuse and amaze us, it'll be Private Party. And I don't know.
They put the belt on Silver.
I think it's got to be Private Party, unless you actually turn Dark Order. I want I think, again, something me and Raptor were talking about, I think there's actually, I'm not normally into dragging a story out for a long time, but I think there is actually more legs in the FTR Young Bucks feud by it not actually happening yet.
They need to turn face before they can defeat them. Because it can't, a heel Bucks versus a heel FTR is not something I'm particularly interested in. Not the story everybody wants. So it'll be a draw. Yeah, because you can't have.
Second, my friends, my fiance looks like she's just fallen down the stairs. So carry on for me for a moment.
No worries at all. No, not a problem in the slightest. Sorry. Yeah, I've fallen down those stairs multiple times. So yeah, it's quite painful. I'll pay once I twice in the weekend. Quite embarrassing. You're cutting out a little bit again. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try and move closer to. Yeah, the issue is that you can't have the heel main blow off thing, so you've got to turn the Bucks before you do this. So they need another 6 months to turn back, or it'll just look silly. Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fallen down the last few stairs.
Oh, okay.
She's all right.
I've told the story about me falling down them twice.
Oh, mate, you're such a clumsy bastard.
I know I am.
Down my stairs like nothing on earth. Must be ADHD. Like the pair of you just bounce into things. Sorry, Morg. I abandoned the show. Take control. Tell me where I am. That's perfectly fine. We are now moving on to Big Swole versus Hikaru Shida for the Women's Championship. Shida wins. What do you think of the match? What score did you give it? I'm going to have my first angry rant before we watch this match. Okay. During this match, they announced that Mox versus Lance was going to be no disqualifications.
Yep.
And JR did nothing but say he didn't like disqualifications and just talked over the women's match about why is it no DQ. That was fucking bad announcing. And those two should be having no DQ matches. Shut the fuck up, you grumpy old man. Just go to watch FTR be boring. That's all. I'm done with JR. It really pissed me off.
I think this was also my tether for him because, God, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Comment on the match that's going on. Try and put these women over. Give them a hand.
JR does not care about women wrestling. He only cares about what they look like.
We know this, but
look at his fucking Twitter feed. He is a thirsty old man.
Yes.
Anyway, Swole versus Shida, the match. Didn't go as well or as smooth as I could have done. We had a few nice bits, but then we had a lot of bad lifts over barricades. We had slips. We had Swole did fall off doing the turnbuckle power bomb. She did improv that back into a scene afterwards.
Yeah.
This dirty dancing was slow.
This match was too complex for Swole. It just was too much for her. They should not have let them book such a complex match. Should have been a lot more simple later so she could actually, instead of making it look awkward.
There were a lot of cool moments in this match, and they did manage to improvise around where it broke really well to not break the pace too much, but I don't think I can give this match above a C. Morg, you're our, I suppose you're our Western women's wrestling expert now.
C. Just
Yeah, enough of enough, but not great
No.
in any direction. It's definitely a D if you've watched any Japanese wrestling.
Right.
I don't know if you lost me then. My headset seemed to cut out.
It's okay.
Yeah, very briefly, but I rolled on. Don't worry, I saved us.
Yeah, I gave it a C also.
I think it's just lack of experience, really. That was the main issue in that match.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Shida gets somebody to work with who can work, and we're laughing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
main event.
We've got the Spears promo.
Oh yeah, Spears promo. Sorry.
Spears needs his beard. I'm sorry. He looks weird without it, and I didn't like it. Beards make men manly. Yeah, solid promoing. I prefer Goofy Spears, though. He's so much better as a wanky twat. But maybe it's just me with my love of Goofy, wanky, heel.
He just is better as a... He's better as that weird tweener that just mocks people. He is. He's just better.
I wonder if we've got Morg back to comment on this promo?
Sean Spears?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, it's not worth ranking.
No.
So following on from that, Eddie Kingston joins commentary, and then we have Lance Archer with Jake Roberts versus Mox in a no DQ match for the AEW Championship. Mox wins with a quick roll up. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Right, this should be my kind of match. I am the I chopper you chopper me expert, I believe. That's been designated to me. I am the man who likes hardcore, and I am the man who likes brutal beatings.
Strong styles, yeah.
We're gonna build up through this. First, Lance has got new music, which is a lot better than his other music, so I don't sing Bon Jovi over it as he comes out anymore, which is good because I also fucking hate Bon Jovi. And he's got his helmet back, which was nice.
It was nice to see the helmet back. That made me
I love his little helmet. I love it. I quite enjoyed JR trying to out-gob Eddie on the mic as well. I was like, you've got no chance, JR. You're slow and old, and Eddie is at the top of his game.
Yeah.
Right, we had a good start with some solid chopper, and then it just fucking slowed down.
What happened to the chopper? Where did the chopper go?
We had like ages for tables, and we suffered from what I think is a WWE problem. Everybody seemed to be on half health from the start.
I don't know why. Is it because they've been fighting?
Well, maybe, but just it's not what I want in the match.
No.
There were some good strikes. Just slow. Jake reaching out to hold Lance's hand at some point. There was no rope breaks. There was the comedy charge into a bin, which was kind of fun. The ending was underwhelming. Could have had more chopper. The actual match kind of just didn't fucking do anything for me, if I'm honest. It was fine. No. It was good. It was like a C. I didn't hate it. The best part of the match was afterwards where Lance no-sold a chair shot to the back. That was the best part of the match for me. I gave this a C, and, you know, I am Dirty Chopper, Fighty Strong Style Man. Unless you guys can buff this match up, it's literally all right in my eyes.
I think I just enjoyed it a little bit more than you. I gave it a C+.
It was a
CB. It was a C. I think I just maybe enjoyed it a bit more.
I just thought it was a very. I don't know. I've just seen them do better matches.
Yeah, I've seen a better Lance. When Lance and Mox fought for the American title in NJPW, Lance pulled out a plastic bag and tried to smother Mox with it, and that was fucking sick. It was great. It was mid-hardway through. He just grabbed this bag out, put it over his face, and pushed him to the floor, and I was like, fuck. And that's what I was expecting. I wanted at least one moment where I went, fuck, where they impressed me over what I've seen before.
Yeah.
And once again, another powerhouse has lost his momentum.
Well, yeah.
What notable fight has Lance won?
I'm not entirely convinced Lance has, because he still looked strong after being hit with the chair. He got caught with a quick roll-up, which is a legitimate move in AEW.
It's true, but he's lost to Mox, he's lost to Cody. So that's both title holders he's lost to. He's feuding with Net. He needs an opponent he can win against, and there's nobody. He could go against Brody, but Brody's already lost, so we now know they're both losers.
There's no mid-card heel. Face.
Hi, man who's over 6'4". Welcome to AEW. You will lose to Moxley and Cody, just in one order or the other. If you don't want to keep squashing your big guys, don't give them title shots.
They don't need to come in and have a title shot. Just build them up as this terror that's.
Do you think? This has just occurred to me. Do you think that this is just a dig at WWE's Land of the Giants?
It'd be super petty. No, you may be right, and that's so.
That's just awful.
We've got the smaller, better guys that do the faster with all the work rate. You have all these big guys.
Knox with his work rate.
Name me one person who doesn't love Kane.
Yeah. One person who didn't love it when Kane came out.
Royal Rumble after Raven throw the bins in.
Unfortunately, Strange, you stopped watching not long after Kane. I had many years of Kane not being very good and not having a mask.
Yeah, fair.
And being big, bald mare man.
Yeah, fair. But you know
all I'm saying is, if Cage now has a match with Cody and loses, I'm having a week off whilst I scream. My 3-minute scream will become a 7-minute scream, a full squash match.
What did we think of the show?
Well, following on from that, we had Eddie Kingston promo as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
The beat down on Mox.
Which is better if you watch the extended one. I love it. I like the fact that Phoenix is taken to doing like anime kawaii little girl.
Mate, I fucking loved that when he was just in on the side doing his hand gestures. I was like, yes, Phoenix. That's what I want.
The only people I can really love at the moment is this Eddie stable. I do love Team Taz, but I'm afraid they're just going to get fucking beaten and beaten. Yeah, they're just becoming jobbers. Whereas Eddie's stable is at least looking badass.
Just a bunch of thugs.
I enjoyed the end. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really good ending.
Overall, what's our score for Dynamite, Mr. Strange? Time for you to do your tot-up of our...
We've got a D, 3 C's, 2 B's, 2 A's, and an S. But the majority of our high-ranking stuff is in promo game, would you believe?
Yeah.
I think we've got a B of a show, a B rank show. We've got enough good wrestling and solid wrestling, a couple of weak spots, but it's all brought up with the presentation and the promo game. I think if you're just watching this for wrestling, you might be a little bit disappointed. But if you're like us and want the full fucking expanded world package of bullshit and MJF and stuff, it was a really good show. I'd give it a B to a high B. I just think it ended on a low note that kind of cost it for me.
So, anything to add, Mr. Muir?
No, I think it was a solid enough show. You know, there wasn't anything surprising. It would be nice to see a belt change the anniversary show, but can't have everything.
We've got a pay-per-view in a couple of weeks, don't we?
That is true, yeah.
OC versus Cody 2.
Yeah.
Bring me the orange one.
Bring me the orange one.
That's in 2 weeks, isn't it? OC versus Cody versus OC2.
I think so.
I think we're heading to a 3-way dance with Cody, Darby, and OC at the pay-per-view.
Oh, cool. I cannot explain.
Once the baby faces have defeated all the other, they must fight.
There's no one to root for. There's no one to root for in AEW. Who am I rooting for? Who's overcoming trials?
Baby faces have to defeat the other baby faces. You settle down.
There is no mountain for a hero to climb. There is no hero's journey. They just win. Sorry, carry on.
Something, Cody Rhodes.
Take over, Morg. It's a B-rank show, and A if you love promos.
Yeah. So moving on, it's time now that we answer questions, and I believe we have one question and something that'll come up later for a discussion. Mr. Strange.
Okay, so this is from my friend Robin. So, weirdly, after I've just had a bit of an angry rant, which might actually set my precedent of this. So, Robin was mentioning to me the idea of he didn't see the Brody title run as basically being Brody's story. He saw it as a step in the Cody story to become the true champion that he is. And now that first story arc of him as champion is concluded, that he is undergone his hero struggle. That's the death and rebirth, and he is now back at this, and he's ready to see the story advance from here. This is, the Brody storyline basically just wasn't about Brody. It was about certifying Cody as this true champion. And he just wanted to know what we thought about this. So I'll go first.
Can we let Morg go first? So it actually...
No. Morg likes baby faces, so Morg can end on a happy note for us.
Oh, okay.
Remember, always end on a happy note. If that was the choice, I would have used anyone else except... I mean, arguably, you should have done it with Lance. Lance could have won that TNT title first, and he could have come and claimed it back, taking it as his title. Yes. I think the problem that we fed so many heels into Cody now, we were so excited about Brody winning that title and maybe Cody coming back as a heel, Cody going through that death and rebirth and coming back as something else, coming back as a new character, actually having a death and a rebirth. He didn't. He just came back as Cody and just won again. And sure, he had a bleedy
hair back. As soon as he got the belt back, he just changed back to normal Cody.
Just one episode of Spooky Cody. Just... I can see what you're saying, my good friend Robin, and I'm glad that's how you see it. I am just sick of watching heels be fed into a blender of faces, especially when all the heels are more likable. You too?
I can see it, but I think it's kind of poor storytelling if that's what you're going for. I think you should have had a bigger rebuild of Cody after coming back. Maybe had some cutaways of whatever that he had suffered less. Have like a cutaway segment and saying, here's Cody recovering this. Not just him coming back, I've gained 14 pounds of muscle in the bin, And that's all that happened. I just don't think it was a very good telling of the hero story of him reclaiming the crown. It felt like he
didn't seem like he was climbing a mountain. No. He wasn't climbing a mountain, he just made Brody a hill, basically. Morg, you're our babyface fan. Come on, I am tweener heel scum.
I don't think it should have been. I don't think it should have been a rematch clause. I think that again, I'm kind of with you guys. I like the idea of that, but I think I would have liked to have seen Cody's story last out longer. I think maybe he should have been away a lot longer, or had to fight his way back to get in. Why did Brody call him out? If I'd have been Brody, I'd have been like, no, you're at the back of the queue, mate. You've lost.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got, and Cody should have fought his way through the Dark Order. It should have been old school. He should have had
anything like that would have been wicked.
Through all the members of the Dark Order to get back at Brody to the point where, and you can have that moment where Brody plays the scared man because Cody's got him that last promo where Cody's fought his way through all of them, and you can have Cody having the chain wrapped around Brody's neck and Brody choking out and looking up and going, I'll give you the match, I'll give you the match. I wouldn't have cared then, because you'd have earned it.
Yeah.
Because Cody had been through all this stuff. And Brody, it's a difficult one for Brody to play a cowardly heel. And I wouldn't have wanted him to be a cowardly heel. But you can have that moment of Cody getting the better of him, like with a chain. I think choking him out with a chain works, because that would have led to the dog collar match, and you could have still had the dog collar match. Yeah. And Brody, in that moment of knowing he's going to pass out, going, yeah, all right, I'll give you your match, I'll give you your match. Yeah. And I think that would have been much better, much like they did with MJF.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the Cody versus MJF story worked really well.
Fantastic. Yeah, it was a great story.
Got Wardlow over. I just don't think they got anybody over. Well, they got Brody over briefly. Like, we thought Brody was really cool for like
John Silver.
Yeah, but John Silver was over already.
John Silver got himself over on Dark, on BTE.
He's about to turn face anyway.
He has to. He's too loved.
Yeah.
So there you go, Robin. We sort of agree with you in the way that if it had been done well, we'd be on your side. But 6 weeks does not a mega heel make, and does not a challenge breed.
No. So yes, and if you'd like to ask us any questions, send us any questions, you can get in touch with us at wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. We are WrestleOP on Facebook and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Now we're going to move on to something a bit different. So we figured that it's been a year of AEW, so I'm going to put my co-hosts to the test.
Oh no.
Can hook me up, bitches. Let's do this.
So I have come up with a short quiz for you. Questions about the first year of AEW. Some of them hard, some of them difficult. It will work like this, and I have done the classic Morg thing of making it overly complicated. So your buzzers will be you saying Muir or Strange.
Which one am I?
You're or Strange.
Yeah, you're or Strange.
I'm going for or. It's pretty easy to say.
And it'll also, I will also, so obviously people who are listening won't notice this, I will be keeping an eye open for whose button goes white first.
Oh, clever.
Just because of cutout problems. You get, if you answer first and you answer the question and get it correct, you get 2 points. If you do not, the other person gets a chance to answer the question, but they only get 1 point. Are you happy with the rules?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Right.
Name, answer question. Cool.
Say name and get the answer right. Okay. Question number 1. What was the debut Dynamite match?
Oh shit! I know half of it. Strange.
Yep. Go on.
I'm gonna say Kip Sabian versus who the fuck did he fight? Sammy Guevara?
No.
Fuck.
Yeah, you get a chance to steal for a point.
No clue.
Sammy, you were half right. Sammy versus Cody.
Kip Sabian was the first match ever done for AEW.
Oh shit! That's where I went wrong.
And then you confused me. I couldn't think of.
I nearly answered this wrong because I thought it was Kip Sammy, and I had to check. Yeah. Double check. Okay, question number 2. Which female wrestler has appeared in a televised match for both AEW and WWE in 2019?
Muir.
Yeah.
Tay Conte?
Oh.
No, I don't think she was in AEW in.
No, she wasn't in AEW in 2019.
Sorry.
No.
Go on, Strange.
No, Strange.
Oh, in 2019. Oh, cool. I've got a chance to steal. Give me a sec. Let me think. Who have they robbed recently? 2019. That's last year.
Well, they had to rob them last year, mate. Think it out. Unlike I did.
WWE. It won't be anybody who was like super successful. Brandy was in NJPW.
I think I know who it is now.
Give me a second. I'm just trying to think through the women, and let's be honest, they've not dressed them up and built them up as much as they could have in our eyes.
No.
Think, Matthew. Think. It's not Tay. Can't be Brandy. Who else is in there? Penelope. I'm just going through them. Don't take any of my votes. Think about women.
Time limit, ref. Come on.
One. Let me down.
2, 3, 4,
Fuck. Who else is in
5,
fucking AEW's women division?
6,
Come on, give up, Strange.
7, 8.
Britt Baker.
No. Mercedes
Big Swole.
Martinez.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair, she did.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was thinking the other way, and it's the wrong way. Yeah.
He double played us, you piece of shit. So we've both got no points on.
Yeah.
We're going to
Okay.
question 3.
So you both get a chance to answer this one.
What?
So this is to the nearest second.
Oh, Jesus.
How long was the first dark?
We've both got a chance on this one.
Yeah,
so we
you
don't
both
need
get
to
a chance to get a point. So it will be the one of you who gets closest and will gain 2 points.
45 minutes and 30 seconds.
49 minutes.
Yeah, you sneaky bastard.
You wanker.
1
He was
hour,
waiting for me to.
1 hour and 28 seconds.
Shit, I was meant to win this competition.
Next question. Question number 4. Who did Lance Archer defeat in his debut match?
Muir.
Go on.
Marco Stunt.
Yes, it was Marco Stunt.
Oh, shit. That's how they opened him. God damn it, AEW.
Yes,
Okay.
mate. Everybody, all the big heels came in at one point defeating Marco Stunt.
Yeah. Question number 5. What was the first pay-per-view under the AEW banner?
Muir.
Yep.
Double or Nothing.
Yes, correct.
Oh, I'm going to be really bad at this, Strange. Oh, I'm terrible at quizzes.
Again, so this is another one where you both get a chance at it.
Oh, God. I'll go first, Strange.
I will give you a bonus point if you get it absolutely bang on.
Okay.
As of today,
Fair.
how many days has Mox been the AEW champion?
148 days.
Did you say?
148, was that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
Strange.
149.
Good call, Strange. 232.
Good work, Strange. I'm proud of you.
200, Jesus. Yeah, it's been a year.
232
God.
days.
All
Okay,
those days wasted like tears in rain.
question number 7. Who presented MJF with the diamond ring?
Muir.
Strange.
That was Muir.
Diamond Dallas Page.
It was.
DDP.
So, question 7, 2, 4. There's 6 points left. Strange, you need to get all of these to
I
win.
can't win this. I should have come in being depreciating. I should have entered this competition going, oh, I'm going to lose this. Oh, because that way you get to win and look like a bell end.
Question number 8. Who was the first name in the lexicon of Le Champion?
Muir?
Go
Tony
on.
Schiavone.
No. Strange, you get to steal for a point.
Cody Rhodes.
No, it was John Moxley.
Question
number 9. Who was the last person eliminated from the Women's Casino Battle Royale?
God.
Strange.
Go
Go on.
Strange.
Nyla Rose?
No,
Fuck.
she wasn't eliminated. Muir, do you want to steal for a point?
I'm just going for Yucca. Fuck it.
Britt Baker.
No.
Right, cool.
Okay, and question number 10. And
Well,
then
I can get one.
we've got the bonuses coming off this. There is a bonus chance for you after this to get some extra points. How many 5-star matches has Dave Meltzer awarded AEW?
Strange.
Yep.
3.
Muir, do you want to steal for a point?
Oh, shit.
5?
No, it's 4.
4. You should have best friends.
No, wait.
Lucha Bros.
Wait. Okay, so strange. So I was going to do a backwards and forwards with you here on this.
Oh, a name them.
And you'll get a point each if you can get the name. So strange. Which of those 2 matches do you want to claim first?
Best friend street fight with the and the powerful.
Yep, 1 point for strange.
So I can't
Muir,
take the tag team one because he's already taken that.
No, you can take anyone you want.
Stampede.
No, strange.
Bucks versus Lucha Bros.
Yep, another point for strange. Muir.
Bucks versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega.
Point for Muir. And can you get the last one? Strange.
Right. Let me think. It's a 5-star match. Just let me think through these pay-per-views.
It's got to be the Young Bucks because it's Meltzer.
Could be a Rhodes one.
No. I will give you. I will give you a little hint. This one is dodgy as being an AEW match, but is listed on Wikipedia as being an AEW match.
Oh,
I will give you a hint. He needs it, dude.
I know.
Moxley Kenny?
No. Muir, do you want to
What was
it?
No clue, mate. No clue.
Cody versus Dustin.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Completely forgot that match existed.
Yeah,
but they are all listed on Wikipedia. So there we have it. That's our quick 1 year of AEW quiz with questions that I didn't go and hunt the internet for lots of questions that I could steal at all.
And we learned that Muir is a dirty deceiver who pretends he doesn't know questions.
Mate, I couldn't remember. The only reason I knew it was double or nothing.
I hardly know anything.
The only reason I knew it was double or nothing.
That's you, that is. That's you.
I don't know anything.
So Muir is 9-4 on that quiz. Now
he gets to keep his AEW belt he got for his birthday.
No, that's for. We know what that's for, and that's for what's it naming?
Predictions
for pay-per-views. That's what that belt's
I'm the
for.
prediction king.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So moving on.
I'm not the quiz king though, apparently.
Mr. Strange, over to you. We are into our discussion.
Cool.
I believe you have something for us.
I have another suggestion from a completely different friend who gave us the questions earlier. This is obviously from my friend Jeff Runfast.
Oh, Jeff! I do like Jeff.
He wants us to discuss what kind of things we think should be good and added to BTE. What kind of comedy or serious sketches we think could enhance the show. And boy, am I ready! I've got 3.
I think you're going to have to lead on this then, Strange, because I'm going to have to think about this.
Yuka and Pac in Japan.
No, mate, I've got 3, and I think all 3 of these things would add infinitely to BTE. One is like, where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? But it's Blade looking for his wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
I came up with that one as I was sitting down to make the notes because it's the last one jumped on. Where is his wife? I'd quite like to see scenes of MJF owning Wardlow's family, as we've now discussed that he does, like going back to his house and just having Wardlow dressed as like a selection of other characters.
What, dressed as like his mother and dressed as like
that'd
be brilliant.
And my third
can I just top that one? I want members of the best friends dressed as all of his family.
Oh, mate, that would be brilliant.
Their acting.
Because Trent does look like a less hench. Yeah,
you could have John Silver as his, little brother or something.
Oh, just get all the over comedy people in. Yeah, I'm wicked.
Yeah.
And I think my other one this does require the Rona to be over, or at least a short, angry, spinny man to return. I would like to see Pac versus Eddie Kingston in a battle for who is best friends with Pentagon. Because as we know, Pac started Death Triangle with Pentagon, and that is actually a proper old established lucha stable trios from like the 50s, De La Muerte, Triangulo de la Muerte. And as we know, Eddie is in fact Penta's best friend.
Yeah.
So I think we could have a friendship war off for who is the best friend and who will get to keep them. And then we could even have the best friend showing how to be a best friend.
They could be the judges for who is the best friend.
Yeah, exactly. So those are, obviously I can't add anything serious to BTE
Oh,
because
God,
I exist solely in a world of bullshit. That's my personality. But those are my 3 suggestions for how to improve being the elite.
I don't know if I can top this. I can't come up with anything on the fly that tops those. Those are just absolutely brilliant.
Honestly, the best one I've got is Where is Blade's wife? I'm
Yes.
so glad I came up with
Right.
that. Where on earth is Ali the bunny?
Mr. Muir, is there anything you think that you can?
Oh, thanks for putting me on the spot here, Morg.
I know I'm in the same situation as I'm saying. Is there anything? As I'm struggling. I think that the one thing.
This is for the quiz, you bitches.
The problem is for me is that I've really enjoyed BTE recently.
I think there should be more Swamp Thing. I think we need more Swamp.
Oh, they could bring the
Alright.
Swamp Thing in. Do you
Yeah.
know the Swamp Thing,
No,
Morg?
no, this is.
The best friends throughout PWG, Chikara, etc., had a man who would appear to wrestle with them literally just in a ghillie suit.
And was the Swamp Thing.
The Swamp Thing, and he's been fucking loads of wrestlers. I think Johnny Gargano's been him. A bunch of the, WWE ex-Chikara dudes have all been it. Getting the Swamp Thing in could, in fact, be pretty great. And it's a rip on Jim Cornette, of course, sending what was quite obviously a mummy out to the ring in the 60s, calling it Swamp Thing.
Yes, mate.
And not the Yeti.
The Yeti. Yeah, sorry, the Yeti. Yeah, it's a rip on that.
Oh, that wasn't in the 60s. The Yeti wasn't in the 60s. That was in WCW.
That was in the 90s, that one.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. That was more recent than that.
I thought it was shitter than that.
No.
Come on, kids. I've fucking owned you on this.
Yes,
you have.
You have
Run
destroyed
Fast is
it.
listening.
I will point out
Fast
you've had
enjoyed
this
it.
question to think about, and I've been writing a quiz. So the
I'm
thing for me is
lazy.
I've really enjoyed BTE recently. I think if I was going to add anything, I'd probably take away some of the stories. More, because less is more. I was going to say more Dark Order segments. I wouldn't mind having, like they did the Inner Circle takeover, occasionally having more of the other
That'd be
factions
good.
have a takeover of it, because I
mine
enjoyed
requires-
that.
The thing
I'm
I would
with
like
you.
to see best would be Sami Zayn. If they could get Sami Zayn to join in the BL Jericho, that would be the best thing that could happen for it for me.
Hey, he's not staying with Dubsy after his contract's gone. All of his mates are in AEW.
I just
All
want
of
to
them.
see Kenny and
Kenny and Chuck bullying him.
bullying him because those are some of the best segments.
I'd like Statlander back with more best friend stuff.
That
That's
would
more of
be
a serious
great,
one.
yeah.
I'd like to see more of the women's stuff, but yeah, again, you want someone like Statlander who's got a character that, although she's really good wrestler, has got a slightly more comedy edge. Interactions with her and Orange Cassidy would be another thing.
Get her over
Because
like
gold.
nothing.
Her and Orange Cassidy
great
just have
together.
so much chemistry together. They are so funny together. So, yes, there you have it. That is where me and Mr. Muir struggled horribly to come up with ideas about how we would improve
PX
BTE.
crosses.
Well done, Strange. I'm
Well
proud
done,
of you.
Strange. And Mr. Muir proved that he knew the most about AEW.
I really don't.
You can't say that anymore. You've just won the quiz. I'd like to point out 7-1.
So, I would like to say thanks to Anchor FM for hosting the podcast. You can find us at Wrestleopinionated on YouTube, Spotify, and on Anchor.fm. Mr. Muir.
1 second. Okay, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. And if you want to send in a message, wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 over at Twitter. Over to you, Strange.
Thanks for listening. We do really actually enjoy getting questions and discussions we can improv with, so send some of that shit in for us. We love it. Do like, share, subscribe. I think there's additional things on Spotify, like clicking the little bar, and there's a bell on Facebook or something. I don't know. We're not really up on this, but thank you for listening. As I said, like, share, subscribe, show your friends, get other people into wrestling. I have converted one whole person to wrestling in the last couple of weeks, and you can do the same and get them onto the show as well. But yeah, cheers. Send in some shit. Over to you, Morg.
So all that's left to be said, goodbye and good night.